evening, everybody, and welcome to Inside Line Racing. Last night we had PS4, and now it is Xbox. This is ILR3, and we are here in the Hockenheim Ring for round number 11 of season. Well, it's technically season 2 for Xbox, but we call it season 4 because it's been season 4 of ILR, 4 seasons. But we're in Germany for the first time in a while, and this is the first time that Xboxes ever get to experience it. So it should be a good laugh for the drivers, but hopefully they take it seriously. I am Jess, and I'll be one of your commentators throughout this evening's race. Joining me, as per usual, in the commentary box is Jack.
Hello. Should be good because it's raining, but I think quite a few people do some slides, Ken block drifting already.
Yes, we have a few people
I'm just sort of holding my breath as a few people doing it.
Yeah, a few people are starting to struggle already in these conditions. I'm guessing not many people have practiced in these conditions in the wet, so which I think that's what they should do really. For at least one bit of their practice usually should be wet conditions, but they can't really predict what the weather's going to be like. So that means they get free choice of tyres for the race. So strategy is going to probably go way out the window. They have a free choice of tyres for the race, which is softs, ultras and mediums. No super softs this weekend, but at least they get a free choice for that. Well, it depends on the weather's like that. And we already see Hotwire struggling and hitting into the wall. So yes. And APS Hamilton, if you're wondering why he's retired from the session, he's got a quali ban due to some penalties he got during and after the race. So he'll be starting at the back of the grid today, and should be quite a wild race today, Jack.
Yeah, depends what we don't know what the weather's going to be like for the race yet. That's something we should know, because in the stream I did yesterday, I didn't know it was going to rain until 18 laps in, when it actually started showing on the screen. Yes,
because we don't usually get indications as to what the weather's going to be like unless the drivers say, hey, the weather's going to be like this, this and this. But it's usually the odd occasion. Now, JJ Rock seems to be struggling. I wonder how many people are using no traction control, because I think no traction control in this game, especially on the pad in the rain, is quite difficult. So, and they can use any assist they want in ILR3. I think it's the only set that they could do that. As Aiden has just set the first time on the board with a 1:22.7, and then we got Dark Phoenix in second there. So unless the conditions improve, which it might do, I don't think we can see times above the 120s yet, but looking at it, it might start to improve towards the end. But again, we haven't had a clear indication as to what the weather is going to be like, especially as it's very tough in the rain, and obviously no DRS, so all they're going to rely on is pure pace and possibly slipstream if they're lucky.
I've just seen that the sun is starting to show a bit through the clouds, so that dry line, we're probably definitely going to see the quickest times of the session at the end, regardless if it starts raining or not, because that line is just going to keep getting drier and drier and drier because of constant running on it. But yeah, as again, Jason's backed as a 1:22.1, 7 tenths quicker than anyone else. That's a pretty solid lap.
In the rain. Who would have called that?
I have respect for everyone who drives pad on this game, because I think it's, I say this every time, but I think it's the most infuriating thing on the planet.
Yeah, it is quite difficult. I first started, I think it was with F1 2016, I raced on a pad, and to be honest, it was the most difficult thing of my life. That's why I moved to a wheel. Still struggling with the wheel, but the pad is so much more difficult to get to grips with. But I don't know how some of these drivers do it if they race on a pad. But props to them, as Jason had a very good result last week on a pad. I think he finished 5th, I believe, or he might have been higher, but I will double check again just to be sure. But and we've seen a few other drivers do well this season as well already, and we're already past the halfway stage. We're one more race down before the Christmas break, so these drivers really want to score as many points as they can to make sure they're at the highest position possible come the break, and then when they come back on the 4th of January, their motivation will be high.
I'm not too sure how slippery this track is, but what I do know is is how harsh Hockenheim can be with the track extending, because I've actually seen a few people disqualified in the race because of the amount of warnings they've got. Most of them are unfair in my view, because turn 1 is just far too harsh. Most of the time you can't not cut it. It's just one of those awkward corners that is so difficult to get right consistently, particularly for 36 laps, which is the length of the race. APS steerage goes fastest. Dark Phoenix was almost having a little bit of a spin in the pit lane.
Yeah, he was struggling ever so slightly there, but steerage doing very well. He's basically pretty much but nearly a second quicker than anybody else. Just goes to show he's really quick on the whack. He is back, and he's back with a vengeance. And he said that in the Twitter chat earlier on, that he's ready to roll and really wants to score as many points. And a few people are definitely afraid of him on sure pace, as it were. So I wonder, is he going to win the race and possibly challenge APS Hamilton, or will someone else pick off the challenge and possibly win? We shall see. As we've got a few people that retired.
Oh, WF1 Perez.
Yeah, that's Perez who retired there. I think he either hit.
I saw a yellow flag, so I'm guessing that's a crash. I won't be seeing him anymore in this session, I don't think.
No, we won't. And JJ Box and Hotwire still not set a lap time yet. Hotwire's still in the pits, but we have seen his trouble earlier on. A big slide from Aiden there, as he's struggling with the conditions, but he seems to be doing okay. Let me just get the lap data so I can see if they go faster or not. Aiden's gone up to 3rd at the moment. Jason is back, has gone up to 2nd, which is around 1/10 slower than APS steerage. Yeah, definitely pure respect to him, to be honest. Must shout to 9 of you that still are watching the stream. And yeah, JJ Rocks, JJ Rocks in the pits. His lap time got invalidated. And I do see a glimpse of sun. So I think a few people are waiting until the track dries up. But don't count your chickens before they hatch, because the track may never dry up. And they may stay on these intermediates for the whole of the race. So they've got to make that judgment call. And I wonder who's going to get the judgment call right as the weather changes, possibly.
Yeah, there's quite a few differences you've got to keep in mind with the car as well. Particularly the biggest difference is probably within the battery, because obviously you're coasting a lot more. You're having a lot more time off the throttle and off the brakes, so you can actually run a higher engine mode than what you usually do. Because obviously that time the battery has more time to regenerate and get to a higher charge than it would if you were constantly on and off the throttle in the dry. So most of the time people will probably be running around 3 or 4 in the race, I'd expect, whereas in the dry they'd probably be running around the 2 or 3 mark.
Yeah. They can afford to go low ERS to these wet conditions, because they won't be using that much in the rain, and they won't be gaining as much speed. So ones on high ERS need to be a bit more careful with how they're using it. But Jason seems to be doing very well with his ERS management already, even with high ERS. But again, you don't use that much anyway in the wet. So again, I think it doesn't matter how much you do use. As we'll see if Jason improves on his lap time from set to 2 to see if the weather is going to change. The rain does look a bit stable.
He is up. I think I saw he was up. I think he was around 2/10 up.
It didn't show on my screen.
Yeah.
But
I think they brought the Delta back because they took it out before, and I don't know why, and they've added it back in so we can actually see what their timing is like. This guy on a pad, insane respect to him, you can just get it in the top 5. I certainly wouldn't be able to. But as he comes around the last corner, he manages to keep it reasonably tidy. He keeps the wheel straight and just uses the slide to get himself straight. And he does go fastest.
And he's been on track pretty much the whole session. 5 laps. So... And conditions are not looking to improve anytime soon. So he's in the right time to stay up. Because you can't afford to go on a set of intermediates for a long time. But as the track starts to rubber off, maybe a new fresh set of intermediate tires will probably be best for him. But it depends on how much he needs to get used to it. As steerage, I think he's on another lap, but he's right. Yeah, he is. He's on another lap, so he is looking to improve on his lap time. And we got Aiden Ados and Easy Fusion on some out laps, and JJ Rocks, I wonder what he's... Nope, Hot Wire's not going to set a time either. He's left the session.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at Steerage's lap right now. He's using a lot of engine braking, so I think he hasn't got a big amount of brake pressure on that car at the moment because of the amount of engine braking he's having to do. But of course, with these intermediate tyres, because they've obviously got a lot more tread on them, they can afford to do probably multiple flying laps in a row on these tyres before they really start to wear or overheat. And that overheating obviously plays more into the tyres lasting a lot longer. So I wouldn't be surprised. That's what played into Jason's hands, because you've seen he's done 4 laps, and it was at the end of those 4 laps he actually set his best lap, which was when all the tyres were up to temperature and he got his foot in the door and managed to really start to ring that McLaren around the track. And
he got his head in the game as well. He was consistent as well, and he thought he fueled the car right as well. And I think Steerage is not going to be faster because he's 2 tenths. No, not 2 tenths. 2 seconds down in that.
Yeah, 2 seconds down.
So
there's a few mistakes there from Steerage.
Yeah, I think he's under pressure now from Jason. There's a lot of pressure being put on Steerage actually, but yeah. But everyone else seems to be pretty close to each other, especially from about 3rd to about 7th. So those times are pretty close. So we can see anyone from 3rd to 7th. Those times can change massively. So if I was them, I would stay out, because if you decide, oh, you're not going to go out, and then someone gets a better time than you, that's going to cause a lot of issues. So. But I think Jason's gone back to the pit, so he's probably going to go on a new fresh set. As I don't see much sun anymore. I
don't think Steerage is going to improve on this lap either. He's 4 tenths down by the end of the 2nd sector.
Yep, he is. I did see him struggle a little bit.
He's backed out of it.
He nearly messed up in the corner that Sebastian Vettel messed up in the race. Not going to go too much about it because not going to say much in the stream, but that was a famous thing that happened in Hockenheim last season that cost him the win really. Yeah, he's 1 second down. 1:22.8.
Yeah, he came out of it in the last sector for a second before regathering himself and going again. What a lot of people don't realise about the Sachs curve is how much of a dip there actually is on the inside, and in the wet and in the dry as well really. That curve is there, but you don't really ever want to hit it, because most of the time when you do hit it, it will just send you into a spin, and that's the error that a few people have made in this session so far. And I think what was the error that Sebastian Vettel made this year, because he tried to catch it and he caught it so hard that it just sent him into the gravel and into the wall.
Yeah,
that's just something a few people are going to have to look out for.
They need to overheat. Well, they don't need to overheat, they need to manage their tyres, and it's very crucial in this game. I do see a force in the who went a bit wide. I didn't quite catch who it was. That was Adolf's gamer.
Steerage is around the same time that he's just set. He's only around 800ths down, so he could see an improvement. No, he's invalidated it, I think.
Yep, he has invalidated it. A lot of times got invalidated this qualifying, but it's not really that surprising. There's quite a damp track already. And I am just going to check the chat just to see if I get any news or any clues for what the weather's going to be like, but they're not dropping anything. They want us to know when basically in spectator mode once the race starts, so should be interesting. Is it going to rain in the race or is it going to be dry? I'm calling it. I think it's going to be possibly a dry race, I think, with possible overcast maybe, but we shall see. What are your predictions for the race, Jack?
Knowing Germany, it will start to rain halfway through or get dry halfway through. It will do one of the two, I reckon. Have you got a Dark Phoenix, by the way, P3?
In the Ferrari, he's looking pretty good. Atlanta's in the other Ferrari in 10th at the moment, but he's going on an out lap at the moment, though. So we'll see how he improves as well. Interestingly, only 2 people in the 121s. I thought a few more people were going to get into the 121s, but just goes to show the sheer ability of these guys. I wonder what would have Hamilton done if he didn't have a quali ban. I think he would have been in the mix with the top 3, I think. He would have possibly beat one of them. but it was his fault for getting penalties last race. But knowing him, he's got good race pace, so I predict he's going to do very well in the race. I think he's going to climb his way back the field and do a technically Lewis Hamilton type thing, because he started from 14th and he won the race in real life. So can he replicate that? Oh, is there Dark Phoenix
getting a bit wrong.
A lot of people are getting caught out there. That is on the gravel track pretty much. It's not going to do very well on their tyres.
JJ Rocks goes P3. He finally put a lap in, and it's a good lap.
It is a good lap.
Indy on second row.
Yeah, maybe, as qualifying's just about to come to an end with 1 minute and 19 seconds remaining on the clock.
Dark Phoenix is in. He's not setting another one.
It's people's last chance to get their laps in. Steerage on and out lap at the moment. Is he going to make it in time to set? I think he might do, because I think he just got.
I think Jason's on another one. I don't think he improves. He's 3.6 seconds down, so he made a mistake. I think he might have made. Maybe he's not going to set another lap. He's just invalidated through turn 1, I think.
Yeah, he's slowing down and he's running out of fuel. There's a red dashboard that's flashing, so that's probably why.
What, on Jason's car?
No, on JJ's.
Oh, on JJ's. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, but Jason, I think, was 4 attempts down in sector 2. Atlantis has decided no, he doesn't want to set another lap time. 30 seconds remaining.
APS invalidated his lap in the first corner. I told you how much of a devil that corner is.
Turn 1 is very tricky, especially in the race. They can't afford to lose it in turn 1, because that's where a lot of people races end. So a lot of people can get caught out. All the tiers in PS4, they had someone at least retire in turn 1. So I think there was only one person that was struggling, but it just goes to show how difficult it is. Probably one of the difficult turns on the calendar, because how fast it is. You've got to make it through, and 2 DRS straights. One DRS straight after another. As Jason is back, is about to set another lap time. Is he going? I don't think
Aiden improves just.
Jason does not, but he's all right at the moment. He's all on steerage now. He just.
No steerage. I don't think he's in it. He's not in it. He invalidated his lap through turn 1. I said a minute ago.
And his ERS is on low at the moment, so I don't think he's going to improve. He's the last person who's out at the moment, apart from Darkwolf. You never know, Darkwolf could throw a curveball, but...
No, he's not on it either. I think he invalidated his lap as well. Actually, I was on board with him a minute ago. The last lap he actually set, he invalidated, but he was 4 100ths up, so he would have got on pole if he hadn't invalidated his lap. That's just misfortune that he did so.
Yeah. That is probably a kick in the teeth for Darkwolf, that he could have got pole and he didn't. So but he's got to think in a positive mindset though. He was good enough to get pole, so he might be good enough in the race. We shall see. As Jason is on pole position.
On a pad.
That is pretty good going. I was predicting him to get pole. I was predicting, to be honest, before the race, I had a prediction who I think is going to get pole. I said, in my mind, I thought Jason was, not Jason, Steerage was going to get pole. My predictions have gone way out the window. And, yeah. So we've got someone that's still out. I think that's still Darkwolf, isn't it?
Yeah, he's running out of fuel. He's going to go across the line. He's going to finish it. I don't... It's not going to be close, but he's going to finish it.
Yep, he is. Just about, though. Where does he come across the line? He's on 7th at the moment.
7th.
So we're about to get the standings for what it's going to be like. So we shall see. There we go. So Jason got pole by 71 hundredths of a second. That was how close it was from steerage. Adolf's Gamer in 3rd. JJ Box in 4th there, improving there quite a lot. Dark Phoenix in 5th. Aiden 6th. Dark Wolf 7th. Easy Fusion 8th. Perez in 9th. So the top 9 separated by 1.3 seconds. Leaper in 10th. Atlantis in 3rd. Dome Thunder 12th. Slender 13th. Then Hotwire did not set time there. And obviously Hamilton is going to start from the back of the grid. Now, I'm intrigued to see how Jason is going to do. Is he going to be going under pressure here? As Steerage got pole position last time about in Great Britain, but in Austria, Jason did, I believe. So he's his second pole of the season, Jason. But in Austria, he didn't win from pole. So, is he going to challenge Steerage off the line? Or are they going to have a coming together? I don't know. Anything could happen in ILR, as I've said many a times on this game. So, I'm intrigued to see what happens here, as we've got a dry race by looks of things. So...
yeah, turn 1 is quite a bad corner for incidents on the start. I'll just give you a list of a few that I remember. I remember Michael Schumacher DNF'd straight away in 2000 when Rubens Barrichello won his first race. You had Luciano Berti doing a backflip in 2001, although that wasn't really the first corner, that was just a straight. You had Massa going over in 2014. And you had Kimi Räikkönen going straight off in 2003, I think it was. So it was just a few incidents with major players on the first corner, just to show that anyone could be caught out by it. Obviously, back then you had the old Hockenheim, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people wish was back, but it's just Forest now.
And Steerage is not going to do well on this formation lap, because he's got DQ, so he's not going to have advantage with his tyres, because don't forget, on this game the formation lap is definitely going to come into effect on how important your tyres are. So Steerage's tyres are going to be a lot cold going into turn 1. So you did say there was going to be incidents. I really do hope it's not going to be from Steerage, but I don't think it is, because he's usually very good off the line. He usually gets really good starts into turn 1, but only one person on the Ultra Softs, which is JJ Rocks. Now, that's a bit of a gamble, because they have 3 sets of choice of tyres due to the wet conditions. And Ultra Softs don't last very long. They last about 6 or 7 laps. So being on the softs or the mediums is definitely the best, which is everyone else's strategy. And they'll be going for a 1-stop. But JJ Rocks will probably have to go for a 2-stop, or pit a bit later than usual, and make sure they conserve a little bit on his tyres. We have to wait and see about that. As we've got, I think also Dome Thunder got disqualified as well, so it wasn't just him. A few other people got disqualified as well. It is known in ILR3, isn't it? At least someone gets disqualified.
I think I've only seen it once where somebody hasn't been disqualified. Those Ultra Softs, there's only 2 tracks, I think, where a 2-stop is quicker, and that is US and Hungary. I think those are the only 2 ones, so JJ's going to have to do something pretty special to get on the podium, I think.
Yep, he does. And the last car of APS Hamilton is lining up on the back. Interesting to see how he does, as the lights are revving. They are ready to go. We've got 4 lights, 5 lights. And it's away we go here at the Hockenheim ring for the German Grand Prix. It looks like Jason's off to a very good start, but Steerage has tried to cover into turn 1. Is there going to be calamities? Looks like it's mainly for the back of the field, and it's Leaper that's been a turn 1 casualty. So far, everyone else has made through turn 1 unscathed, so phew, lucky about that. But I think Hotwire's been involved in some incident as well. Hamilton's gained a few places already, so that's good for him. JJ Rocks up into P3, and now he's going to see if he could overtake Steerage. Steerage almost under pressure from Jason there, as they are both fighting for position, and Steerage lost speed time there. JJ Rocks now up into P2, so probably the Ultra Softs helped him a little bit. Fusion trying to see if he can overtake Atlantis. Atlantis getting up into P6 already. So already some movers and shakers already at the start of this Grand Prix. It just goes to show race pace is more critical than qualifying pace, I've got to say. But Jason's still doing very well to hold on to that lead there, doing absolutely well to cover the start. Maybe he can stay there, or will Steerage and JJ Rocks try to cover him off? Ados in the Yellow Force India in 4th. Aiden in 5th doing very well. APS Hamilton managed to gain another position into P11. 1 more point, and then he'll be in the points already. So Hamilton, very good start from him. And let's just see who has gained also the most position. I think eDiffusion's gained quite a lot as well, but Hamilton and Atlantis being the big movers on the field, and Dark Phoenix has dropped 5 positions, which is not the best position he needs to be right now, but already so much action. It's already lap 2.
Steerage going back on rocks. He's going to try and go around the outside. I think he's going to do it. He gets pushed wide right onto the curb, but because of that, I think JJ actually compromised APS's run just enough to stay ahead of him. Yes, he does. He gets ahead, now a car and a half ahead. Should be able to keep that for the next couple of sectors at least. And looking back at the start, I think Jay Smith's back got the perfect start really. He just got away from the line, no wheel spin, no drama, moved across a bit to check the Williams with ABS steerage. Compromised his run onto the second DRS zone, and yeah, he just managed to get away. He's now 2 seconds in front of the rest of the pack, so well done to Jason is back for that start.
Yep, he's now 2 seconds. That is decent stuff. And he's on the softs as well, so we were expecting JJ Rocks to basically try and defend or attack Jason because he was on a softer tyre, but no. He is trying to defend for himself, and steerage is not that far behind. We've got yellow flag in sector 1. Hotwire doesn't seem to be... No, Hotwire I don't think in the race anymore, as I can't see...
No. Dun Thunder hasn't got a front wing. I think that might be what it's for.
What? He probably disconnected?
No, Dun Thunder hasn't got a front wing at all.
Ah, that's probably why then.
That might be what the yellow flags are for.
Yep, so already steerage just got made his way past JJ Rocks again. So he's going to fight his way back up the field. JJ Rocks is under pressure from his teammate, Ados. Will they be helping each other out, or will they be fighting for position? I think they will be fighting for position. One of the reserve drivers, Perez, has gained 3 positions. He's about 2.8 seconds behind Aiden. Aiden's not far behind from Ados. So the top 5, incredibly close already, which is very good to see. Battling on the track. Oh, a bit of a slide from Aiden there. That didn't help him in the slightest. That's probably lost a bit of time. I think that lost around about 6 tenths there. So he's got to try his best to try and catch that up. But Ados gained a few tenths on that lap as well. So that's helped him a little bit. And he's going to probably get more speed going towards just past through the DRS. That probably helped him a little bit as well. And Hamilton is now in the points now. So Hamilton's gained 5 positions already. And he's already going to close up to Dark Phoenix. In my opinion, the one who's doing really well is Hamilton. He's making that strategy work, and I think probably that pulley pan is probably a blessing in disguise, I've got to say. And Dark Wolf, I think, just made his way past Perez.
He goes a bit deep there, but that's only because he is on the medium tyres. He's not going to have as much grip as Hamilton does on the soft. So if I was Phoenix, if I saw Hamilton catching up, I wouldn't put that much resistance up against him. At the start, I actually saw Hamilton get pushed onto the grass by one of the Renaults, but he actually managed to still make the move stick. So that was a mighty move from the Red Bull. Obviously, he's going to get the award for most places given, well, made on the first few laps with up 5 more than anyone else. The two who lost out the most in that start is Easy Fusion and Dark Phoenix, both down 4. Other than that, though, the field is relatively stable.
Yeah, they seem to be, which is quite good for ILR3. They seem to be improving on Ados, and Aiden are fighting for position here. Aiden was definitely gaining up on Ados Gamer there. Ados is definitely under pressure from Aiden, going through to that very long straight. JJ Rocks I can see in the same camera shot as well. So Aiden is definitely going to get a bit more time. No DRS from Aiden there, which is a bit strategic, I've got to say. We've got our first penalties. Slender and Dark Wolf just getting 3 seconds there. Not a common track to get penalties, but I've seen one race yesterday that was commentated by ILR that only one person did not get a penalty. So it just varies from tier to tier who gets penalties. So we could see quite a lot here. We could quite see a few. It just does depend on how much they've been practicing, but it is quite tight on track limits, I've got to say. We've got
Aiden touching JJ Rocks there. JJ Rocks having a bit of a slide on.
Oh, another touch.
Aiden goes for it immediately. That was a bit ambitious, I have to say.
Ados just lost his front wing, so he'll probably have to go to the pits now. So I think there's nothing that Eidos Gamer could have done to avoid that. That was...
Well, he's going to have to do a bit of an impression from the scene from the Austin Power movie where he got to be a 1,000,000-point turn, but he's going to stick with it and go in the pit lane.
Yeah. He's got to. He's probably going to go on to a different strategy. Probably on a 7 mediums, it looks like. Oh. There was a little bit of a wait there. Might be a stop and go. So...
Steer just caught right back up to Jason, by the way.
Yeah, so he's caught up. Yeah, Siri just caught right up. Do you think Jason's tyres are a little bit hot at the moment? Don't forget, tyre temperatures are really difficult on a pad. I've got to say, it is not the best move to make, I've got to say. So, yes, so that is when it's starting to kick in.
Probably the hardest game in terms of F1 game in terms of tyres, because obviously with this game you don't only get the tyre surface temperature, you get the tyre carcass temperature, and when the tyre surface temperature gets hot, that isn't that big of a deal because it can be cooled down relatively quick again. But if you keep that too hot for too long, then the carcass starts to heat up, and when that gets hot, that's when your car starts to slide around, and that is much more difficult to cool down again. So if you can't get them cooled down again, then you will start to just be in a bit of a compound situation. Steerage pulls out to the right-hand side. Jason is going to brake much later than the Williams. He's going to try and do a bit of a switchback move. He doesn't get it done because he just finds himself right underneath this Williams again. And I think Steerage is going to try and make that a comfortable lead. Can't see Jason making a move in the next couple of sectors because there's not really any opportunity to. I think Steerage has a lead.
Yeah, he has. The Steerage is already pulling away from Jason, so I think his tyres are getting a bit hot because he is losing a bit of time already to Steerage, but I can see in his eyes that he is not giving up in the slightest. He's definitely on a charge here at this moment in time, so I want to see what happens here with Jason. See if he can claw up the gap a little bit. Claw up the gap, not claw. Oh my god. And Dark Phoenix managed to catch up to Hamilton. And Hamilton, I must say, doing stellar. He's in 6th for the moment. And he's not that far behind Dark Wolf either. So, pretty
Jason's going to go back on Steerage.
Oh, let me just follow them.
He's trying to. He's going to have to go round the outside if he wants to do it. I think he may do. Steerage is going to have to take a much tighter line through that hairpin. Jason gets much better drive. Again, Jason's going to have to take the outside line through this very fast corner, but then that goes to the inside line for the next corner. And is he going to force Steerage wide? No, Steerage hangs it around the outside. That is a brave move from the Williams. Jason is going to have to try and switch back again, but again, it's not there. That was brave. That was brave stuff.
Yeah, that is awesome stuff. I couldn't really tell who was going to get that position there. Was it going to be Jason or was it going to be Steerage there? They're probably going to be fighting towards the race and they're on similar tyres as well. So they're probably going to pit roughly around about the same time. And if so, which pit crew is going to gain the advantage, I've got to say. So that'll be interesting to see as the race progresses, how that's going to unfold. I'm just going to see what other battles we've got on offer as well. I think we've got Dark Phoenix again. Still trying to see if he can make a move on APS Hamilton. No DRS at the moment, he has chosen not to. Hamilton doesn't get any DRS either, so probably they're just relying on pure slipstream at the moment. But Dark Phoenix seems to be losing a bit of time. And I think the only person that's stopped at the moment is JJ Box, Eidos and Dome Thunder. Everyone else has not stopped yet, but Jason is right behind Steerage again. That fight is going to probably never end until these guys go into the pit. So we definitely still need to watch these guys battle for dear life here, but they got to make sure they manage their tyres sufficiently, because otherwise they will lose a bit of grip, especially on these last penultimate corners down turn 1. So they can't afford to push it too much, but they seem to be alright at ERS at the moment, as Steerage is on 30%, Jason is on 40%, so Jason can afford to get the right speed going into turn 1. Oh, Steerage got a 3-second time penalty. That's definitely cost him a little bit. That's probably put a little bit more pressure.
Not going to be the last one we're going to see, though, I don't think, by a long shot.
No. Sometimes the penalties that they dish out is a little bit unfair, so that could be investigated after the race. Usually some penalties are unfair and they get removed by the stewards anyway, so it's not over for steerage yet. So as Jason there, I think steerage doing trying well to defend off Jason there. He knows his line quite well, so he's got to try and see if he can hold on. Jason tries to get the inside line. Well, he almost tried to get the inside line there. He decided to stay put at the moment. He's still on quite low ERS though, which is where he needs to be at the moment because he's still on 5th gear at the moment. JJ Box trying to make his way up the field, but right now let's go still concentrate on the top 2 as Jason's doing all he can. He doesn't want to lose the lead as he can, really, to be honest. He doesn't want to lose the lead at all. So, Jason...
Because these guys are probably going to be on the same strategy because they did start on the same tyres.
Yeah,
Jason now giving himself a time penalty, so that levels it back out again.
That's the same corner that steerage got a time penalty. That is quite a common corner to get a time penalty. I even get time penalties for that corner on that game, so the game is quite shit on that. So Jason's going to get the DRS that he possibly needs. He's around about 2/10 per second behind steerage. That DRS definitely helped him. He's going side by side with steerage now, but I think steerage gets a better line and steerage stays ahead of Jason, but Jason almost getting a switch back. He's got the slipstream. They're side by side again going to turn 5. But yeah, steerage has more of an advantage here. They are keeping it clean. It's very
close.
tight. It is very tight here.
Steerage almost brake checked Jason going into that corner.
That was close, I've got to say. As
a dart back onto the racing line a bit sooner than we'd have thought, but this battle reminds me a bit of Hamilton and Alonso from Canada in 2013, where both wanted the DRS so badly that they were both coming off the throttle in the middle of the straight to be second in the DRS detection zone so they could get DRS and hopefully make a move into the corner on the other person. But yeah, Jason is trying to use that DRS and slipstream to full potential at the moment, and he's not going to be able to use his battery because, well, he hasn't got any.
Nope, he's not. So he's got a... I think also Leaper's struggling with battery as well. Quite a few people are struggling on battery as well. So that is going to be, I think, a little bit worrying, I've got to say. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. As I think Aiden has just made his way past Perez there and up into P3. So they're on similar strategy as well. They're probably going to make the same replica move as Steerage and Jason did. Oh, almost a bit of touching wheels there, ever so close again. That was close. Oh my god, my heart is beating a million miles per minute. And we're on lap 12 already. Everyone that was on the Ultras are now have already pitted or have either retired or something like that. So everyone's still on the softs and the mediums. Top 8, still trying to make their tyres last. Dark Phoenix is going to probably see if he can try and gauge positions due to the fact that he's on mediums and he can last his tyres long enough. Aiden's starting to pull away from Perez. Jason and Steerage are still fighting into turn 2. Luckily no corner cuts for those two again. But I won't be surprised if they have got warnings. Perez is not that far behind Aiden.
To go up to the odds.
Oh my word.
He tried it. Aiden's much more confident on the brakes, it seems, than Perez. But obviously Perez is going to get that DRS again. He's going to have to go around the outside of the hairpin if he wants that move. Although he is much more confident on the brakes, I'm not sure if he will be able to go around the outside. Aiden almost goes into the side pod of the Haas. The Haas has to come out of it a little bit, and Aiden keeps the position. So, but I wouldn't be surprised within the next few laps if we do see those positions swap.
Yep, and we got another swap here. Oh, Perez! Perez went wide. That didn't help a lot. He's definitely lost a bit of time now. I think that was his own accord, unfortunately. He's lost about 3 or 4 tenths in that sector due to that incident, and I think he's dropping to 1 second almost. So Aiden already starting to pull away. But right now, the battle's still on for the lead. But we also got the two Ferraris fighting as well. And JJ Rock's going to join the party as well. So battles are already hot in here. It's quite hard to see what battles we need to track, really, because they're all going on at once. And that's what we like in races like this. If there's battles going on all the time, that is good. And Atlantis is going into the pits. He's probably going on to a set of mediums by the looks of things. The pit crew is ready. JJ Rock's getting a penalty. Dark Phoenix is probably going to pit next lap.
Perez even closer to Aiden this time. He's got the inside line instead. He's going to try and get on the brakes to get it done. He squeezes the Toro Rosso very wide, almost onto the grass. Aiden gets a very clean switchback move. That's one of the cleanest switchbacks I've ever seen, and he reclaims that position on the Haas yet again. That was a serious move.
That was quite serious, but he was committed, and he did it. And very impressed with these two driving styles at the moment. Don't forget, Perez is a reserve driver, and he's already showing his mettle here in ILR3. Maybe he could be a full-time driver soon, as I think Perez is still catching up. Yes, he is. He's right on the gearbox of Aiden. Aiden went a little bit wide on the grass there. That's probably helped Perez a lot, to be honest. Aiden's gone into the pit, so that's the last we'll see on that battle. And so is Jason, and so is Steerage. Now that's going to be interesting. Steerage has got a stop go. I completely forgot. And he's having trouble in his pit window as well. So Jason has gone ahead of Steerage. And is Steerage coming out? Yes, he is. Where is he going to come out? He's closely closing up to the Ferrari battle and, of course, India. And Steerage is not far behind APS Hamilton. They're in the same team.
Hamilton, even though he hasn't pitted yet, he is in the podium positions. So he's up 12. Perez is up 8. So a bit of an underdog competition at the moment.
Yes, but it could all change when they go to the pits. So don't count your chickens before they hatch, guys. So just watch. But Jason is already gaining an advantage here at the moment. Could he get his first win in ILR? I think a few people might be hoping that. But we're not showing bias any way, shape or form here in ILR. We want to keep it impartial. We want to see all drivers doing well and reach their potential. And if they're driving well, then obviously we're going to give them like drive all the day and something like that. So we're already pretty much almost halfway in. We'll be halfway pretty much on lap 19. So this is where these tyres come into its own, really. And it's probably when the medium lot will start to pit around about lap 19, I think. And Dark Phoenix has been on his lap. The mediums for 14 laps. And so was Leaper. So be interesting to see how those are. So now probably give the guys that are still out a little bit more hope as well, if they're still on these tyres. Perez has gone into the pit, so is Hamilton. Where is Hamilton going to come? This is a very short pit entry in Germany. He's just passed, I think, just go ahead of Atlantis, but he is not that far ahead of him. So Atlantis is definitely going to gain some speed on Hamilton. So his fresher tyres is definitely going to help here. Oh my God, that was a bit of wheel banging from Perez and Aiden once again, as Perez has just got a time penalty there. But Aiden still managed to stay in front. I think Perez had to let him through there. That might have been an illegal overtake, but I'm not really going to be the judge of that because I didn't quite see what happened. As I think we definitely got the top two, as Jason and Steerage are back in P1 and 2 right now. But already Jason is starting to pull away. Because I think Steerage got not the best pit stops, but Jason had a much better pit stop. And that's what helps him to push that gap. But I won't be surprised because Steerage is saying fastest lap. He can catch up.
On the mediums.
It's not over yet for Steerage. So
I'm not sure if him pushing that amount on the mediums could cause him to slide a bit. Because obviously these are a harder compound. They are going to not have as much grip as, say, the soft, or even definitely not the ultra soft. The ultra soft and the hyper soft always stick to the track like glue unless you overheat them.
Yeah, they
Mediums
do.
are a bit more resistant to overheating, but again, it could happen with the amount he's pushing.
Yeah, if he pushes too
Perez
much.
goes for a switchback. He loses a bit of his wing at the same time.
Aiden is being a little bit too aggressive there. And did he just cut a corner there? I think he did.
Oh!
Oh my word!
I'm not...
Holy moly. What has just happened? Is that on purpose?
I think that might have been on purpose. I'm not sure what Perez's game is.
I swear.
That was out of order.
That is the first time on ILR I've ever seen something like that. I've seen stuff in other leagues where a few people have been taken out on purpose and then they ended up getting blacklisted. I hope that is not the case. Oh my word. Aiden's lost his front wing, so has Perez. Oh, Aiden's struggling. Look at him. He's gone into the gravel. He's spinning everywhere. Oh, he's got to be careful. Oh, he avoided that Force India of, what was that Force India? Vados was struggling as well. So, already, I'm surprised that there has been a safety car. I thought a safety car would have been cool, but obviously not. That it's dangerous for people to drive like that. That is crazy. Oh, that is just so frustrating. And Aiden's out of the race. He's had enough, I'm guessing. So, I'm not really going to say much because I think it will be looked at after the race. But I don't know who's at fault there. But, again, there was a few people that they were both being a bit too aggressive. But I think they were both trying to take each other out. Was that the case for you, or was it a different story?
All around, I think they just got a bit frustrated with one another. Also did a bit of a double move into the hairpin, took a small chunk of the front wing of Perez's hat off. Perez in turn pushed Toro Rosso wide of the hairpin. That frustrated Perez, that frustrated Toro Rosso, who got a much better exit anyway, went around the outside, and when he got himself directly ahead of the Haas, he just brake checked him, and they both went off.
Yeah. So
that's what I took away from that, at least.
So yeah, they got to be careful with that. I think they were both feeling a bit too aggressive on the moves.
Look who's making a move on Hamilton. It's that Landis J20.
We got a yellow flag in sector 3. Not quite sure what happened there, but let's focus on this battle here. Hamilton's up into P4. So if I would give driver the day at this point, it will definitely be Hamilton. Because he's gained quite a few
up 11,
positions.
it's got to be, hasn't it?
Yeah, Perez is out. He has had enough, I've got to say. Oh, he might be struggling with his front. And he's left. Yeah, he's had enough. So, or he might have got told to leave, I don't know. But I'm not going to judge anything until I get absolute proof. So, yeah, sorry about this, that this guys have happened. We promote clean racing in ILR, and yeah, we do apologise for what we experienced between Aiden and Perez. Hopefully this will be looked at after the race, because this is not what we expect in ILR. So, but everyone else seems to be doing all right, clean racing wise. So, very impressed by the rest of them anyway, especially Hamilton. Jason, still in the lead, but Steerage is definitely trying to close in. He was about 3 seconds behind, now he's 2.8. So, now, if he gains a few tenths per lap, he's definitely going to try and catch up to Jason towards the end of the race, I think. Not entirely sure about that, but hey ho. Why do I keep saying hey ho? But you know. And loads of penalties are being given, and maybe Jack's predictions are starting to come true, because I am starting to see clouds start to form, quite dark ones, and it's a bit overcast. I was right saying it might be overcast, and Jack might be right saying there might be rain. So can the game read our minds?
Oh, steer. I think that was Dartwolf's having a bit of a moment in the Sachs curve, almost doing a Sebastian Vettel, but in the dry. I'm not too sure. Bit of a shaky moment from him there, but I'm not sure if it will rain, judging by people's strategies. I think it might just be clouding over. I don't think there'll be any bit of rain, because if it was going to rain, most people probably would have just gone soft instead of soft medium, but they might have not wanted to risk it, so it could rain, but if it does rain, it'll be right at the end.
Yeah, I think so. So that's going to be very interesting, I think. If they go and make the judge they got to make their judgment call, I think, at the moment, if it does start to rain. Because I remember it was the same, pretty much same conditions in ILR3 yesterday and PS4. The people who went to switch to intermediates got the call right, and that guy ended up winning the race. So they've got to make it right if they've got to make it count. They've got to see if it rains hard, if they see tracks starting to get damp, that is when they pit for a call of set of intermediates. So that'll be interesting. But you never know, it could be dark clouds and it may not rain. So it is going to be quite difficult.
Phoenix is the time penalty. I think that was at the fast right-hander into sector 3.
Yeah, start of sector 3, I think. So yeah, I think that's what happened here. Hamilton's now under pressure from Atlantis. Atlantis doing very well in the Ferrari there. Let me just look at the overall championship standings and see, has anyone not got any points? Now, literally everyone that's in the championship at the moment has got points, so which is good, I think. So I think the one that needs to gain the most is JJ Rocks, and he's in 6th, so he could gain some very good points here in 6th if he keeps his up. As I think Atlantis, oh wow, that was a bit of a mistake from Atlantis, but he decided not to make the move because he knows that he could get caught up in an instant if he doesn't, and he knows APS Hamilton, and he knows the way he drives, and he drives quite cleanly, and he doesn't want to get involved in collisions with him. So fair play to Atlantis, I've got to say, and fair play to everyone else. As on lap 23, Dark Wolf getting a penalty. We will check in around about 7 laps time on the status of play as far as penalties is concerned, because yeah, I am as there's someone random has joined the session. I don't know why, but ignore that. As Dark Wolf is in 3rd, he's 22 seconds clear of Hamilton. That's probably going to come into play here. His penalties may not effective. JJ Rocks.
Atlantis made a bit of a mistake.
Yeah, that I just noticed that. JJ Rocks has just gained a position. And Atlantis has just lost a bit of time there in sector 1, I believe. So, well, I think it's just the start of sector 2, I think. So, that has allowed JJ Rocks to try and catch up to Hamilton. He's got a chance to do so. He might do it. He's on newer tyres than Hamilton. So we could see a dark horse of JJ Rocks gain a bit more points than he needs, really. Well, he needs, that he usually has. So that'll be good for him. Already then. So I'm not going to get my predictions in who's going to win the race, because usually if I get predictions in, usually that guy doesn't win the race. So I'm not going to say anything as far as predictions are concerned, because any one of the top 7 pretty much can win it. And so it'll be up to them to make the call. I am riding no drops of rain at the moment, so they're all good at the moment. So it'll probably rain at the end. Typical German conditions, I gotta say. And we do see some German flags out. We do see some British flags out. A lot of people supporting the British drivers out on the grids today. As Dark Wolf is still in 3rd, and Aiden is just left the section. I think
we could see a battle. I don't know where all these randoms are coming from, but
has someone left the lobby open by accident?
No, they might. But you could see a battle, but for the last podium place in a second. Because Dark Wolves, I'm pretty sure. Hang on a second. Wait, what is this right?
Steerage is already 25 seconds clear of Dark Wolf. I was reading it wrong. Hamilton's 1.1 seconds behind Wolf.
Yeah, for some reason on my screen, on his car, it says he's on softs, but on the leaderboard it says it's on mediums, and I always know to follow the leaderboard.
Ignore the car.
Yeah, it's the leaderboard.
Yeah, the leaderboard's always right. Just saying.
Yeah, he is on mediums, so he's obviously on the same strategy as Hamilton and JJ Rocks. So they're not. Neither of these three are going to pit again, and they're both catching Dark Wolf. So, and they're round about a second apart, all 3 of them.
That is going to be close. As Hamilton's closing in. That'll be a good story if Hamilton goes from last on the grid to where he is now and get a podium position. That would be insane. So impressed with his conduct. He is getting the warning sign for fuel, but he's going to try and make a move on Dark Wolf. He easily gets it done, no trouble there. It's like a textbook move from him, and he's up into third. Podium positions already. And JJ Rocks is closing on Dark Wolf as well. So he's going to be under pressure from quite a lot. Will JJ Rocks make a similar move to Dark Wolf, or will they have to fight for it? We shall see.
I saw into that hairpin, Dark Wolf did a bit of a double move, but it's fine because there wasn't really any contact made. It's just he'll have to keep it extra clean from here on out as to not draw any attention to himself from the stewards, as if he does that again, I have a feeling he might do.
Yeah. I think so. He's got to be careful there. Just to be sure that it works. But, I think we've got a bit of side from JJ Rock, so he seems to be struggling a little bit. We're on lap 26 right now. I am going to check penalty soon, but there's still battles going on. Hamilton is going to be under pressure again. He thinks it's all over, but it isn't. It isn't over yet. So we got three cars fighting for a podium position. This is insane. I'm so excited how this is going to turn out. Ooh.
JJ goes very close to the back of the Mercedes there. I don't know if you realise that or not, but he must have been about 10 centimetres away from clonking the back of that Merc. But he managed to stay on the brakes.
Yeah, he's got to stay on the brakes as much as possible, but not too much, because he's going to lose a bit of time now. Wolf is not giving up. He is a machine. He can definitely be one of the contenders for driver of the day, and so can JJ Rocks there side by side. JJ Rocks lost a bit of time there. Don't find they're getting a 3-second time penalty after that incident. So
yeah, from what I said earlier in qualifying, you don't want to touch that inside curb of the Sachs curb, because as you saw there, JJ Rocks almost pivoted himself into a spin. It's a bit of an ambitious move anyway, trying to go up the inside of the Sachs curb, because that is a very narrow corner. I don't really think many people realise how narrow Hockenheim is. The only really wide bits are the bits they introduced in 2002, which really is only the long straight down towards the hairpin, which, well, rejoins you back onto the old layout.
Yeah. The circuit of Hockenheim has changed quite a bit as well. And Michael Schumacher's won quite a lot. And I was looking at it yesterday. Someone I didn't know actually had more wins than Michael Schumacher in his home race. So, interesting now. And who knows, we may see Mick Schumacher do well in the future as he's in Formula 2 next season. And I won't be surprised if he goes to Formula 1 as well. It would be nice to get a Schumacher in Formula 1 again. Because, to be honest, I do miss a Schumacher in Formula 1. It will be nice for him to be back at some point. Probably not 2020, but definitely I think 2021. I can see him do very well in Formula 1.
Well, he is in F2 for 2019, so, I mean,
can he do a George Russell?
Leclerc was only in F2 for 1 year, Albon was only in F2 for 1 year, Russell was only in F2 for 1 year, so we could see him in F1 in 2020.
We could, but it depends if it... I think, though, because Bottas, I think, is got 1 year of his contract. If he doesn't do well this season, he could get Bottas' C, I think. But Dark Wolf does a
switchback move.
But I think he's going to get the switchback,
They're going to be
Hamilton.
3 wide, going back out, and ABS manages to defend that position. That was a bit of a scrap. Dark Wolf's been the big loser out of all of that.
Yeah, JJ Rocks has gained a position.
Managing to get past. Dark Wolf's giving himself a bit of a penalty, bit flustered. Trying to plant himself back onto the back of that Force India. And if they keep battling this hard, we could see a 4th car join this battle of WR Dark Phoenix, who is only 2 seconds behind and on a softer compound.
A little bit. Hold on. Oh no, it's back. It's back.
JJ Rocks had a spin.
Oh no! So
JJ Rocks is down in 7th.
He was struggling a little bit there. So that probably didn't help him in the slightest with the amount of pace he has had. So that was very unfortunate, I've got to say, from him. He's definitely lost a bit of time. Now Dark Phoenix is definitely
no time penalty.
Speaking of penalties, I'm going to quickly check the race director so you lovely people in the audience can see as well. I will check to see. How, I think Jason's already got one penalty. I think he got one in lap 11, and yeah, that was it. Steerage, I think, has got 2. As far as I'm aware. Hamilton, I don't think he's got any penalties. Nope, he's got 1.
So, but Hamilton is 30 seconds behind. So I don't think any penalties to these two are going to change their first or second positions. But if Jason keeps it clean, these last 4.5 laps and doesn't corner cut, if Steerage does pass him, Steerage is going to have to make up 3 seconds on top of that to win the race, which I don't think is going to be able to do. We'll have to do some almighty laps to do it.
Yeah, he's just got to turn and put on some good laps, really, which is going to be, I think, quite tricky to possibly get their head around, I've got to say. But, yeah, I think...
Having himself there with a bit of oversteer.
Ados
Yellows.
is out!
Ados.
Don't know what happened
Where
there.
was that to?
Unfortunately, we can't follow what happened because Leap is so far behind. So... who knows, that we could get, we might see Ados in the Twitter chat and he can explain what happened to him, I've got to say. Now, apologies if my mic was a bit loud there. Apparently, Windows decided to turn it up ever so slightly there. So, I didn't know that until...
Steerage in DRS. Not close enough, but he is in DRS.
Who?
Steerage on Jason.
Oh, Steerage is closing up. Fusion getting another time penalty. So, Jason and Steerage has got more penalties though.
Yeah.
But he's
so if I was Jason, I'd just try and keep a cool head at the moment because he can still reasonably easy. He's got another one. So he's going to have to make up 6 seconds if he gets in front. I think he might have lost this, you know, completely.
That's his third.
Yeah, that's his third penalty.
Yeah, I think, let me just check again quickly, sorry. He got 1 on lap 10, 1 on lap 19, and 1 just now on lap 30. So yeah, he's got 3.
Yeah, so Jason, I have a feeling he might have secured this race because even if Steerage does have to make a move, he just has to stay within 6 seconds of the Williams to win.
Wow.
As long as Jason keeps it cool, I think he's won this race.
That'll be his first win on a pad. So basically, if you're watching this and like, oh, I don't think I could do this on a pad, no excuses now. But I think Steerage's going to make the move on track, maybe. Jason could afford to possibly let Steerage have this one and still take the win, as long as Steerage doesn't pull ahead. It's by 6 seconds, which is probably unlikely.
I think he's just defending this one at the moment for a bit of pride.
He wants to win on track, I think. Even though but to be honest, Jason doesn't know how many penalties. He might have been told by the radio on Jeff saying, oh, the car behind's got a time penalty, but they haven't been told how many time penalties. So
yeah.
And Jason's got a time penalty.
That is actually a feature which he didn't tell you before. Now Jeff can tell you what time penalties the car behind has got, which I found out the other day in League Race in Italy. Yeah, he can tell you how much. You say, click the radio, either say car in front or car behind, it'll tell you all the details about the other car. If they've got a mechanical problem, how worn their tyres are, how old their tyres are, what type of tyres they've got on, how many penalties they've got. It'll tell you everything. They've updated him. Jeff is great now because he actually tells you stuff you want to know. I think because they updated it around, they updated the game, I think this time last week, because we told everyone to update their Xboxes. And Steerage, by the way, going for a move on Jason. Jason is still defending it.
Steerage was very low on the
a bit wide, but again, They do not want to take each other out on this. It's going to have to be so clean. They're leaving the cars width between each other just because they don't want to have any unnecessary risk. Jason hangs it around the outside. What a move from Jason. Some great defending from the McLaren driver.
Very good from Jason. I mean, he's been on top form pretty much all race. But we still got a battle brewing. Dark Wolf and APS Hamilton. Hamilton wants to get third place on Pride. Even though Dark Wolf's got a few penalties behind him. So they're probably going to be told the same thing. I'm trying that new feature that Jeff gives you more information. And I might try this in Grand Prix mode and see what happens. But that is just crazy right now. I didn't even know that even existed until now. So that is good. We've got another yellow flag in sector 3. So we may have a few people slowing down. As we're on the final lap, Jason has managed to, and Steerage and Hamilton managed to make sure their tyres last for ever so long. And so is Atlantis.
I think that's the last attack. That's the last attack Steerage is going to mount. I think Jason is probably going to be safe from here. Dark Wolves, by the way, look how close he is to Hamilton.
Yes, that's what I said. They're side by side right now. They can't afford to take each other out. Jason, oh no! He's got another penalty. Oh, he can't afford to get one more.
He'll still be good though.
He's only got 2, so he's all right. But if Steerage didn't get that penalty earlier on, they would have fighted for actual position here. But Jason is so lucky here. But to be honest, I did predict Steerage to win this. Steerage was doing well to fight to the end.
Oh wow, wait, hang on. Steerage had 4 penalties that we didn't see because he's 6 seconds behind still.
Wow.
On the counter.
Hamilton and Dartmoor were still fighting on track. Hamilton wants to get 3rd place on track. He is trying, they are fighting here. Always a bit
Careful,
of a mistake.
boys.
Another penalty for Dome Thunder.
There's a bit of a touch there. He goes wide. He's going to be side by side up to the finish. APS lets him go because he's run out of fuel.
What? No! Oh no! Hamilton has run out of fuel. That is a mistake that he wasn't hoping to happen. Unless he's 4th.
He's still in 4th.
So he missed the podium.
Phoenix gets a podium.
Oh, Hamilton must be kicking himself after that mistake. He put less fuel than he needed, maybe because he pushed a little bit more than on the last lap when he was involved in battles. Oh, that's unfortunate. I've seen a few races where people run out of fuel. I hate that people lose position due to running out of fuel. I wouldn't want to happen to anyone. So, but anyway, well done to our race winner. His first win of the season, I believe. Jason is back. Wait, let me check to see if Jason has won. No, he hasn't. His best finish was a 4th. So he tripled that and got a win. So that is incredibly good stuff from the McLaren boys. And we got an all-British podium, like I said. So that is a good way to round off the last race before the Christmas break. These guys have now got to recharge and make sure they're ready for Hungary in around about 2 weeks' time, which is when the next race is on the 4th of January. But anyway, let's get the final results here. We've got Jason is back. He's got the win. Yeah, he got 4 penalty steerage there. You were right, Jack. Wow. Dark Phoenix going 3rd. Hamilton 4th. Atlantis 5th. Dark Wolf 6th. Jojo Rock, Slender in 8th. East Fusion in 9th. And Leap rounding up your top 10. And Dome Thunder at 11th. And your retirements, Ados Gamer, Perez and Aiden. Pretty much everyone that finished has got penalties. So no one got an advantage there. So I must jinx it there. But that was a good race, wasn't it, Jack?
Yeah, it was. Not too much in terms of strategies, but in terms of battles, it was full on.
Yeah, it was definitely full on in terms of battles. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the race is going to be like in Hungary in a few weeks' time. So, thank you so much for watching ILR3 today. It's been a good one. We've seen some carnage and we've seen some great battles. We've pretty much seen everything, to be honest. The threat of rain, I think, did materialise, and which was a bit of a shame, to be honest. I did hope it was going to rain, but unfortunately it didn't. So, yeah. But anyway, your thoughts on driver of the day, Jack? Who do you think gets your driver of the day? It was going to be Hamilton for me, in my opinion. But I think that fuel mistake probably cost him a little bit. But what are your thoughts first, Jack?
I'd either say Jason or Hamilton as the game decides to kick me out of the session. Mostly because Jason, even though pad drivers are at such a disadvantage on this game, he still managed to win the race. So that is just, yeah, win tenfold in my book.
Yeah, so well done to Jason for doing ever so well, and also to Hamilton for making his way through the field. So that is it for ILR3. Don't forget to check the ILR 1 and 2 Xbox streams when they go live on YouTube tomorrow, so make sure you check those out. And on Sunday we got streams of ILR 1 and 2 on PS4 for the German Grand Prix. But we will see you guys in 2 weeks for the Hungarian Grand Prix, and I hope you guys are looking forward to it. I've been Just Games 95, Jack has been at JSR Snakes, and good night everyone.